Hey everyone, once again, Dr. Cortez. And today, tuloy natin yung lesson natin sa subject na to, Financial Analysis and Reporting. Specific topic, Lesson 7 tayo. Financial Planning and Control. So, ito yung ating mga topics to be covered. For today, direct materials budget, direct labor budget, overhead budget, selling and administrative expense budget, cash receipt budget. Siya yung ating coverage for today. And yung ating objectives din. Sige, before I continue with this one, direct materials budget. If you can recall guys, sa ating last lesson last week, we prepared the cash budget. We prepared the sales budget and production budget. Sa nakaraan nating lesson, inalam natin kung ilang piraso yung ating ipoproduce na products. So, connected kasi ating lesson last week sa ating lesson today. In preparing the direct material budget, kailangan nating balikan or kailangan nating malala yung production budget na ating ginawa noong nakaraan. And before we continue, ito yung mga data na kailangan natin sa direct material budget. The same company to, no? Sa company natin nakaraan, Breakers ang pangalan nating business. So, sa data natin today, at Breakers, 5 pounds daw ng materyales ang gagamitin natin are required to produce 1 unit of product. And that is the first data, that is the first assumption. And second assumption, management wants materials on hand at the end of each month equal to 10% of the following month's production. Take note, ang ating pinabudget, ang ating gagawa ng budget now is hindi finished goods, hindi finished product, but direct materials na ginagamit in producing one product. So, nakalagay dyan, pag gagawa ka ng isang product, 5 piraso ng direct materials ang kailangan mo sa isang piraso ng products na gagawin. At sabi dito, yung management, siyempre pag mag-produce sila ng materials, hindi naman eksakto, di ba? Dapat may pasobra. So sabi dito, yung pasobra ay dapat 10% nung next month's production. That is normal, that is usual. Pag magpo-produce ka ng materials na kailangan, ay pasobra. So dito sa ating data, 10% ang ating pasobra. 10% nung production for the next month. Para may allowance tayo. Another data, on March 31, 13,000 pounds of materials are on hand. Yan. So take note, ang ating materials na ginagamit is measured in terms of pounds. So 5 pounds bawat isang unit ang ating kailangan. At given dito yung cost ng materials, kailangan natin $40 per pound yung cost. Okay? Kasi yung 13,000 pounds, piraso lang yan. Units yan, hindi pa siya amount. So to get the amount, we multiply bawat pound ng materials by $40. Sorry, by $0.40 to get the cost ng bawat isang pound ng materials. And given this data and given yung ating knowledge ng production budget nung nakaraan, the lesson, we can now prepare the direct materials budget. For the next slide. Okay, so this is the direct materials budget. So the same thing, no? Ang ating piniprepare ay second quarter. Tulad din ng nakaraan na lesson natin, second quarter of the years, it means that is April, May, and June. So we're going to prepare the direct material budget from April to June, so 3 months. To make a column, 3 columns, April, May, June. Then the first row should be titled production in units. Okay, so ito na yung gagamitin natin nung ating data nung nakaraang lesson. If you can recall, last session we prepared the production budget. So from last lesson, nalaman natin ilang piraso ng units ng product yung ating ipoproduce, right? And we computed kung ilang piraso, diba? Last meeting. If you can recall, kung babalikan natin ating production budget nung nakaraan, for the month of April, 26 units ang ating ipoproduce. So, ilagay mo sa dito. So, yung sa May, from our production budget last lesson, 46,000 units. And for the month of June, 29,000 units. So, balikan nyo lang, no? Yung ating production budget nakaraan para malaman nyo na itong ginagamit natin dito. And you just add 26 plus 46 plus 29, it will give you 101,000 total sa second quarter. Okay, so ang ating kailangan ay 26,000. At based sa ating data sa previous slide, bawat isang piraso na ating ipoproduce ay kailangan natin ng 5 pounds of materials. Kaya nakalagay dito, 5. Okay? Balikan natin yung nakaraan. Tingnan natin. Saan nanggaling yung 5? Ayan. 5 pounds of materials are needed or are required to produce 1 unit of product. So, nakalagay dito, 5. Then multiply 26,000 units or piraso multiplied by 5. Sa April, ang kailangan nating materials ay 130,000 pounds. Multiplied 26 by 5, 130,000 pounds. Right? So, ganun din sa month ng May. 46,000 by 5 to 30,000. Sa June, 29,000 by 5, 145,000. So, nakuha na natin yung production needs. Total ng materials na gagamitin for the month of April. 130,000 pounds ang kailangan nating i-produce. Okay? Sabi natin, pag nag-produce ka, hindi naman kung ilan na yung kailangan mo. Dapat meron kang pasobra. Dapat merong matira. Pagkatapos ng April, dapat may matira. Hindi eksakto, pag nag-produce ng isang materials, pag nag-produce ng mga direct materials, hindi eksaktong 130,000. Magpapasobra tayo. Ang tanong, magkano pasobra? Or magkano ang ating ending inventory? Babalikan natin yung data. Ang ating ending inventory, right, on hand, at the end of each month, should be equal to 10% of the following month's production. Yan ang data, binabalikan lang natin. Ibig sabihin, yung ending inventory for the month of April should be 10% ng 230,000 for the month of May. So, if we multiply 230,000 times 10%, it will give you 23,000 units of materials. Kaya nakalagay dito, 23,000. Alright? So, ang kailangan natin production, 130,000. But we need pa sobra, 23,000. Tanong, ilan lahat ng kailangan natin? How much unit of materials are needed? To just add 130 plus 23,000, kailangan natin lahat-lahat ng 153,000 pesos. Sorry, 153,000 units of materials. Kailangan natin. So, kung kailangan natin 153,000, pero nung start ng April kasi, may natira pa nung month ng March. Even magkailan? 13,000. So, limamin natin sa month ng April, kailangan natin ng 153,000 na units of direct materials. Pero may natira kasi nung March. Ilan? 13,000. So, saan nang galing yan? Given yan sa ating problem. On March 31, 13,000 pounds ng March, ay natira or on hand. So, therefore, this 13,000 will become our beginning for the month of April. O ganito, kailangan natin 153,000. May natira pa kahapon na 13. So, ating kailangan i-produce or bilhin ay 140,000 lang. Sobra kahapon, 140 lang. So, for the month of April, yung ating materials to be purchased or bibili natin ay hindi 153. 140,000 lang. May sobra kasi kahapon. So, lagyan natin dito 140,000. Okay, so okay ng April. Let's go to May. Sa May, ganun din, di ba? Na-multiply natin to to 30,000 yan. 46 times 5 to 30,000. Tapos ang ating ending inventory ay 10% dapat nung next month production. So, multiply 145,000 by 10. It will give you 14,500. So, kailangan i-produce ay 230,000. Idagdag mo yung ating pasobra na 14,500. Ang total needed natin is 244,500. Ito kailangan natin Ito dapat natin bibilhin, di ba? 244,500. Ay may natira na naman. Okay? So at the end of April, ang ating natira ay 23. So automatic, this 23,000 will become your beginning. Natira kahapon, so beginning natin ngayong araw yan, di ba? Ganun lang isa kasimple. So our ending inventory nung April, 23,000 will become your beginning inventory for the month of May. So kailangan natin ng 244,500 na bili, hindi. Kasi may sobra kahapon. So ang kailangan natin ay 221,500 lang. Kailangan natin. Itong 23,000 ay itong ending ng May, natira ng May, it will become your beginning naman for the month of June. Okay, so 40,500, it will become your beginning for the month of June. Natira ngayon, so beginning yan bukas, kinabukasan. So 14,500. Okay, for the month of June, given 29,000, saan ang galing? Doon sa ating production budget nung nakaraang lesson natin. Okay, and multiplied again by 5 will give you 145,000. Okay? Ang kailangan natin i-produce 145,000. Kailangan natin magpasobra again. Ending inventory 11,500 ating pasobra. Ito ay 10% ng production ng susunod na buwan. Magkano ba yung production sa susunod na buwan? 11,500. Okay. So, dyan tayo, ibig sabihin, yung production ng July ay kukunin natin. Okay? O yung July, sa ating previous lesson, Ang ating ibebenta ay 25,000 units. I-add mo yung desired ending inventory. From previous lesson ha. So 28,000 kailangan natin. Ibawas yung beginning inventory na 5,000. So for the month of July, ang ating production is 23,000 units ang ating ipoproduce na piraso na products. Okay? In 23,000, multiply mo siya ng 5. Bakit? Hindi ba sabi natin, bawat isang unit, 5 pounds ang kailangan natin. So 23,000 by 5. Multiply by 5. And it will give you 115,000 piraso. So ito yung ating production for the month of July. Okay, multiply that by 10%. It will give you 11,500. So 11,500, ito yung magiging ending inventory for the month of June. 11,500. Lagay mo sa dito. Right? So 11,500. Kaya 11,500 yan. Then you just add 145 plus 11,500. It will give you 156,500. Total needed. Ito yung ating kailangang materyales for the month of June. May sobra, di ba, na 14,500 kahapon. So ang ating bibilhin ay 142,000 na lang. 156, bawas mo yung 40,005. So, kailangan natin is 142,000 lang. Okay? So, for the whole quarter, for the whole second quarter, add mo lang mga yan, di ba? 505,000. Tapos for second quarter, ang ating beginning, ang ating ending ay 11,005. Kasi ang ending ng isang second quarter ay June. Kaya ang ending nating second quarter is 11,005. Then third, so add mo yan, di ba? 516,500. Then you deduct the 13,000. Itong 13,000 beginning ng second quarter, ito yung beginning ng April. Nilagay natin dito. So for the whole quarter of second quarter, ang materials to be purchased ay 503,500. That is 516,500 less 13,000 units of materials. It will give you 503,500 for the month, for the second quarter of the year. So ito, April to June na yan ha, itong column na to. Okay, take note this guys, no? You understand this one kasi ito yung magiging final exam. Okay, so let's move on. So ito yung ating computation nakaraan, di ba? Nakaraan, pinapakita lang yung slide na to. How did we compute yung 11,500 na ending inventory for the month of June? Itong data naka-green, it came from our data nung nakaraang lesson. Ating production budget. Okay, kasi kailangan natin yung 23,000. Okay, so let's move on. That is the end for direct materials budget. Ang sunod naman natin ay yung direct labor budget. Kasi tatlo yan, di ba? Tatlo yung ating component ng cost eh. Direct materials, direct labor, and overhead. So natapos na natin yung direct materials budget. So nandito na tayo sa direct labor budget. So ito naman yung, so once again, ito yung data na given sa direct labor budget. Ito yung gagamitin natin in computing, in preparing the direct labor budget sa next slide natin. At breakers, take note, the breaker is the name of the company. At breakers, each unit of product requires 0.10 hours of direct labor. So, ganun din, di ba? Bawat product na i-produce natin, kailangan natin ay 0.10 hours of direct labor. Second data, the company has a no layoff policy, so all employees will be paid for 40 hours of work per week. Lahat ng empleyado, bayad sila for 40 hours of work. In exchange for the no layoff policy, workers agreed to a wage rate of $8 per hour regardless of the hours worked. No overtime pay. And next data, for the next 3 months, the direct labor workforce will be paid for a minimum of 3,000 hours per month. Ibig sabihin, no, guaranteed 3,000 labor hours ang babayaran sa mga employees sa loob ng isang buwan. Guaranteed yan, no? So, given this data, let's prepare the direct labor budget of the company. So, I suggest for you guys to take a screenshot itong data na to para hindi na kayo balik ng balik dito sa slide na to when we start computing the direct labor budget. Okay, so the same story, we prepare the budget for the second quarter. So that is April to June. The title of this budget is direct labor. So first row, we write again the production in unit. So once again, the 26,000, it came from our production budget sa ating previous lesson. Plastic. Sa April, 26,000, May, 46,000, and June, so the same, 29,000. From production budget, no? Ang nakarang lesson natin yan. And it is given a data na bawat units na maproduce natin, ang required na labor, direct labor, is 0.10. That is given in the data, sa ating previous slide. 0.10 hours of direct labor is needed. So just multiply 26,000 units to be produced by 0.10. Sa month ng April, ang ating labor hours required is 2,600. For the month of May, that is 4,600, and June, 2,900. Yan ang labor hours required. Yan ang babayaran, no? Sa mga employees. 2,600. Kaya lang, meron tayong data kanina, di ba, na guaranteed ang isang empleyado ng 3,000 units, 3,000 hours per month. Then instead of 2,600 ang babayaran, itong guaranteed na 3,000. It is given. For the next 3 months, the direct labor workforce will be paid for a minimum of 3,000 hours per month. Guaranteed. Minimum. So, hindi 2,600 ating multiply, kundi 3,000. Itong babayaran The 3,000 minimum is the number of hours to be paid. So, 3,000 times $8. O, saan nanggaling $8 natin? Given sa data yan. It is $8 per hour regardless of the hours worked. No overtime pay. Kaya, 3,000 hours by 8. So, direct labor cost for the month of April is $24,000. Okay, so 3,000. This is the greater labor hours required or labor hours guaranteed. Sabihin, pag bumaba ang labor hours, yung 3,000 guaranteed ang babayaran. Let's go to the month of May. 46,000, di ba? It came from our production budget last time. Multiplied by 0.10, so 4,600 labor hours ang required na babayaran. So dito naman, itong 4,600 ang babayaran. Kasi mas mataas siya sa guaranteed na 3,000. Itong guaranteed na 3,000, ginagamit lang natin yan pag bumaba sa 3,000. Since 4,600, hindi 4,600 babayaran natin. So 4,600 hours by multiplied by $8 per hour. So we have 36,800 direct labor for the month of May. Okay, then for the month of June, 2,900. Pero ang guaranteed rate is 3,000. So multiply the 3,000 by 8. So direct labor for the month of June is 24,000. Okay, then for the whole quarter of second quarter, just add 26 plus 46 plus 29, 101 times 10, so 10,100 hours. Pero hindi yan ang babayaran. Ang babayaran natin ay ito. 3,000 plus 46 plus 3,000 is 10,600. So 10,600 times 8, 84,800. Direct labor cost second quarter. Okay, so that is the direct labor budget. So we are done with direct materials, we are done with direct labor. So next nating iba-budget ay yung overhead. The third component of cost is overhead. So ito yung overhead budget. So ito ay given na, here is a breaker's overhead budget for the quarter. So as a review lang, ang direct materials, ito yung mga materials na ginagamit directly connected sa product na ginawa. Ang direct labor is those labors that are directly connected in preparing or producing a product. So lahat ng cost na hindi kasama sa direct labor, hindi kasama sa direct materials, we treat them as overhead. Example, ang indirect labor is part of overhead. Overhead yan. Pag sa direct labor, ito mga labor na hindi connected sa pag-produce. Example, yung sweldo nung janitor na naglilinis, hindi naman sa connected sa pag-produce ng product, di ba? So indirect labor yan. Yung indirect materials, pang materials na hindi connected sa pag-produce ng product, those are indirect labor. Example, yung mga basahan na ginamit, yung pinturang ginamit, di ba? So, indirect materials yan. Kaya yung utilities na ginamit, example, kuryente, no? Or tubig na ginamit sa production, utilities, and rent ng building na ginamit, insurance, and maintenance. So, ito mga sample lang mga sample lang ito ng mga overhead. Hindi sila kasama sa direct materials, hindi sila kasama sa direct labor. So, they are treated as overhead. Now, assuming for the month of April, yung overhead na, ang indirect labor natin is 70,500, 7,042. So, for the month of April, yung ating overhead is $56,000. And for the month of May, ganun din. So we add the overhead component overhead, the breakdown, and 76 and 59,000. So for the second quarter, you just add them, di ba? 17 plus 26 plus 17, you have 61,009. So overall, the overhead budget for the second quarter is 191,000. Okay, so let's change this slide. Let's move. So after the cost, we are done with the cost component, no? Hindi lang naman yun mga gastos sa company. Yun lang yung cost. Ang expenses hindi pa kasama dun. So costs are different from expenses. So expense, ito yung mga gastos. Ang cost, mga puhunan. So here are the data for the selling and administrative expense budget. At breakers, variable selling and administrative expense are 0.50 for every unit sold. Ang fixed selling and administrative expenses are 70,000 per month. Yan ang fixed. Pag sabing fixed, ito yung mga gastos na hindi nagbabago. Kaya fixed, no? And third data, the 70,000 fixed expenses includes 10,000 in depreciation. Ang depreciation, ito yung pagbaba ng value ng isang equipment. Gastos siya, pero hindi siya binabayaran. Kasi ibang gastos like rent, salary, binabayaran yun eh. Ang depreciation, although there is an expense, hindi siya binabayaran ng cash. Because that is the decline in value of an equipment or property, plant, and equipment depreciation. But it does not require cash outflow. But considered only as expense, fixed expense. Okay, so given the data, we will now prepare the selling and administrative expense budget. Ang selling, ito ang ginagastos sa pagbenta ng product, kaya selling, no? Ang administrative, ito yung mga gastos, examples sa office administration. So, ibang gastos sa selling, ibang gastos sa administrative. Ang selling kasi yung mga gastos sa labas. Ang admin sa loob lang. So, let's prepare the budget. So, the title of the budget is the selling and administrative expense budget. So, you have the three columns once again, April, May, June. Okay, so kailangan natin yung sales in units. Ito yung nanggaling sa ating previous lesson din. Di ba? If you can recall, inalam natin kung ilang piraso ang ating ibabudget. Sa previous lesson natin, for the month of April, kung babalikan mo yung ating lesson nakaraan, 20,000 ang ating ibebenta na units of product for the month of April. For the month of May, that is 50,000. For the month of June, 30,000. From sales budget to ha. Sales budget from previous lesson natin. Will multiplied by 0.50. O baka ka magtanong, saan nanggaling yung 0.50? Nanggaling sa ating data yan. Ating data, sabi ng data natin, sa bawat product na ating mabibenta, ang gastos natin sa selling is 0.50. Kaya multiply natin ng 0.50 para makuha natin ang variable expense ay 10,000 selling. For May, that is 25. Multiply lang to ha. For June, 30,000 by 50 is 15,000. Yan ang variable. Plus, meron pa tayong fixed selling expense, 70,000. Saan ang galing? Data rin yan. Fixed selling and administrative expenses are 70,000 per month. Fixed, mga gastos na hindi nagbabago. Maliit man ng production, wala mang production o meron, we will pay the 70,000. Example, rent, depreciation, mga fixed yan eh. Kaya kung mangyari, babayaran mo yan. Fixed kasi siya. Okay, so ang ating total expenses ay 10,000 plus 70,000. Ang ating total expense is 80,000 for the month of April. Right? Sa 80,000, ibawas natin yung mga non-cash expenses. Pag sabing non-cash expense, ito yung gastos na hindi binabayaran ng cash. Sabi natin kanina, depreciation is an example of an expense that does not require cash outflow. So, ibawas natin yung 10,000. So, 80,000 minus 10,000, 70,000. So, ang ating cash disbursement para sa mga expenses is only 70,000. Kasi itong 10,000 hindi binabayaran ng cash yan. Kaya binawas natin sa 80. Right? So, ganun din for the month of May. 25,000, i-add mo yung 70,000. Kasi itong 70,000 sa ating data, monthly yan eh. For the month. Monthly, per month. So, every month, binabayaran natin yan. Di ba? Kaya meron tayong 70,000 sa April, 70,000 sa May, 70,000 sa June. And you get the total of 95,000. Then once again, ibawas ulit natin yung 10,000. So for the month of May, ang ating cash disbursement. Pag sinabi kasi ng cash disbursement, ito yung gastos na binayaran natin ng cash. So 85,000 lang. So binili sa June. So for the month for the second quarter, ang ating total is 230,000. 70 plus 85 plus 75, you will get 230,000. For the second quarter yan, no? 230,000. Yan ang ating total budget for selling and administrative for second quarter. Okay, so let's move on sa next slide natin. Ito naman yung ating cash receipt. So take note people, itong slide na katatapos lang, yung mga binayaran natin, cash disbursement. Ito naman, we're going to compute the cash receipt budget. Ang cash receipt, ito yung mga tatanggapin nating pera, papasok yung pera dyan, di ba? So data given at breakers. So once again, breakers is the name of our company. All sales are on account. So breakers daw, on account. Pag sinabi mo on account, yung mga benta ng company are on credit. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya binabayaran ng buong cash. On account eh. Yan naman yung uso sa negosyo, di ba? Mga pautang natin, pag nagbenta na yung product, minsan hindi siya cash basis, kundi on credit or on account. Sa the company, meron tayong collection pattern, no? Sa mga pautang natin, ito ang ating collection pattern. Ang ating mga receivable or mga pautang natin ay nakakolekta. 70% of the receivable are collected in the month of sale. Kung naibenta sa month ng April, 70% ang collection. Yung 30% balance na yung customer mo yun. Kukolektahin yun sa second month. Okay? O sa month ng sale, 70% down payment. Pagkanong balance? 30% ang balance. Sa 30%, yung 25% ay kukolektahin natin sa susunod na buwan. Okay? So 25% collected in the month following sale. 5% is uncollected. So we always give an allowance for uncollected. Yung negosyante, ganun guys, no? Conservatism principle, we don't expect na makokolekta lahat ng ating mga pautang. We set an allowance na 5% sa mga uncollected. Ibig sabihin niya, 95% lang natin na-expect na makokolekta, yung 5% will be treated as uncollectables. Inuunahan na natin, allowance na. So 5% is uncollected. Assumption natin to, no? Uncollected. And given the data, the March 31 accounts receivable balance, take note, ang ating kino-compute ay April, May, June. Pero may given data dito, yung March 31 daw, the account receivable balance of 30,000 will be collected in full. Right? May receivable tayo ng March. Di ba April ngayon? April natin kino-collecta. Pero no March 31, may account receivable balance collected full for the month sa April. Okay, these are the data. Let's prepare the cash receipt budget sa April, May, June. Okay? So, ang cash receipt budget, ang re-reflect natin dito ay mga collection. Cash receipt eh. So, we should budget yung cash collection, yung pinanggalingan ng pera. Now, so per column tayo na. Sa April, i-measure natin, i-lay down natin here sa April column yung mga makukolekta sa April. Okay? Unang-una, yung balance ng March 31 na receivable sabi sa dating data, ay makokolekta natin yon yan yung April. So, 30,000 collection. Diba? 30,000. Dito lang galing yan, no? The March 31 account receivable balance will be collected in full during April. So, may 30,000 ka dyan. Right? So, ano pa? Yun lang ba makokolekta natin? Hindi, no? Marami tayong collectibles eh. Kasi nagbenta tayo sa April, di ba? If you can recall, sa ating sales budget, nung nakarang lesson, for the month of April, ang ating benta ay 200,000 pesos. Balikan nyo yung sales budget yun nung nakarang lesson. Ang benta natin for the month of April is 200,000 pesos. Benta yan, di ba? Pero, sabi natin, on account yan, sales on account. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin makukolekta yung buong 200,000 for the month of April. Ilan lang? 70% lang. Tatanggalin 70%. Ito, given sa ating data. 70% will be collected in the month of sale. Ibig sabihin, kung kailan binenta, kung kailan nangyari yung sales, 70% ang collection. Kaya dito, 200,000 times 70%. That is 140,000. Okay? Sir, yung balance. Yung balance, 25% lang. But 25% na ba't hindi 30? Di ba sabi natin kanina, yung 5% will be treated as uncollectible. So 25% lang ating balance. Kailan makukolekta? Sa following month. So, ibig sabihin, sa May. So, 200,000 times 25%, that is 50,000. That is to be collected sa susunod na buwan, May. Ilagay mo dito yung 50,000. Okay? Then, for the month of May, balikan natin yung budget natin ng May. Ang ating benta sa May ay 500,000 pesos. 70% ay makakolekta sa May. So, sa 500,000 times 70%, 350,000 pesos. Ilagay mo dito month ng May, no? Yung balance sa 25%, pakakolekta yan sa month ng June. So, 500,000 times 25%, that is 125,000. Dito mo sa ilagay. Kasi yung 25% na yan ay makakolekta yan the month following. Sabihin, sa June. Yung last month ng second quarter, yung sa ating sales budget, nakarang lesson, 300,000 pesos sa ating benta for the month of June. Multiplied by 70%, collection sa June, that is 210,000. So 300,000 times 0.70, that is 210,000. Ilagay mo dito sa column ng June kasi benta ng June yan eh. Yung balance, makolekta mo yan sa July na. Since hanggang June lang tayo, so hindi na natin i-reflect yung July. When you add the columns, 30,000 plus 140, so 170 ang collection sa month ng April. Sa month ng June naman, 50 plus 350, so 400,000 for the month of May. And for the month of June, 125 plus 210, so 335. So, yun ating mga collection. Pag buka ka ng cash receipt budget, ganitong column technique ang iyong gagawin per column. Then for the second quarter, you just add 170 plus 400 plus 335. Total collection for the second quarter is 905,000. Okay, so let's go to the last slide natin. It is my credit na pala. I want to credit Google for all the images used sa aking presentation for the day. And hoping that you will stay again once again guys on your future video tutorial, and hoping you well for the rest of the day. And with that, this has been Dr. Cortez signing off, and see you people sa mga next video ko. Thank you.